The death of a former Don, Jackie the Nose D'Amico, and former street boss of the Gambino crime family, dies at 86 of natural causes. John Jackie D'Amico, born 1937, was a New York City mobster who served as street boss of the Gambino crime family from 2005 to 2011, when official boss Peter Gotti was serving life in prison. D'Amico received the nickname Nose because of his Romanesque nose, one mob informant told the courts during his testimony. At the Gotti trial, mobster Michael DiLeonardo said D'Amico had his nose fixed, a rhinoplasty. He had a big distorted nose at one time. D'Amico was said to have been upset with prosecutors for using the nickname. John Gotti loved him because Jackie was a fellow gambler who placed all of his bets for him. He is an old friend of Irving Hal Hershkowitz, the founder and president of the non-alcoholic beverage corporation Big Geyser Incorporated. He worked in their Maspeth, Queens warehouse. Salute. He maintained the job until he was brought to trial and convicted of extortion. By the late 1960s, D'Amico was a bookmaker and soldier in the Gambino family, then ruled by boss Carlo Gambino. In the 1970s, D'Amico became an associate of Ozone Park, Queens-based capo John Gotti. In 1976, D'Amico began operating loan sharking, illegal gambling, and extortion and labor racketeering activities in Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. After Carlo died in 1976, his brother-in-law, Paul Castellano, became the new boss. During the late 1970s, D'Amico was promoted to Capo Regime in the Brooklyn faction. With income from loan sharking, extortion, and illegal gambling operations, D'Amico gained much respect within the family. On December 16, 1985, Castellano and his underboss Thomas Bellotti were gunned down outside the Spark Steakhouse in Manhattan. Gotti, who had orchestrated their assassination, now became the Gambino boss. D'Amico became one of Gotti's closest associates. In 1992, Gotti was convicted on racketeering charges and sentenced to life in imprisonment. When Gotti went to prison, he created a ruling panel, or administration, to supervise the family. This panel included D'Amico, Gotti's son John Jr. Gotti, and then acting boss Peter Gotti, and Joseph Arcuri. The four men would meet to discuss business at the Hawaiian Moonlighters Club. Other accounts state that Nicholas Carrazzo, not Arcuri, was on the panel. After federal law enforcement began focusing on Junior Gotti, John Gotti allegedly designated him as the new acting boss. In 1998, D'Amico was charged with racketeering and loan sharking. On January 19, 1999, he pled guilty to a single count of operating an illegal gambling operation in Connecticut whose profits went to Junior Gotti. On July 8th of 1999, D'Amico was sentenced to 20 months in prison. In September of 2001, D'Amico was released from prison, according to federal authorities. D'Amico became the Gambino acting boss in 2003. However, with the 2006 release of Nicholas Carrazzo, a report stated that both D'Amico and Carrazzo are running the family, with Arnold Zeke Scudieri as underboss and Joseph Jojo Carrazza as consigliere. On February 7th of 2008, D'Amico was arrested along with more than 60 affiliates of the Gambino family after Operation Old Bridge picked up an informant named Joseph Villaro. The operation went on to terminate the drug trafficking between the Gambino crime family in New York and their connections in Sicily. While D'Amico was placed at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, Carrazzo became a fugitive. On March 14, 2008, D'Amico was released on bail from the MDC in Brooklyn. Following the indictments from Operation Old Bridge, D'Amico was still on trial regarding multiple counts of racketeering charges. In May of 2008, D'Amico pled guilty to extorting a cement company out of $100,000 and was sentenced on August 18, 2008 to 2 years in prison at the Metropolitan Correctional Center, New York. D'Amico had been scheduled for a release from prison on November 3, 2009. However, in February 2009, the imprisoned D'Amico was charged with arranging the 1989 waste murder and was kept in prison during his trial. The district attorney agreed to a lenient plea agreement because the case against D'Amico was very, very weak. D'Amico was incarcerated in New York City and was released in 2012 of June. And now, late last December of 2023, he has passed away of natural causes. Hey, nothing better than dying of old age is what I say. I want to thank Bella my Sviadel, for sending me the story. From a snowy New York City and Queens, it's Big Rich where we keep it busy and businesslike. Make sure you wipe your feet on the rug, and I threw up some Top Dog Sour as usual. Sunshine for the soul, especially on such a cold and wintry day. Let me know what you're smoking on, and let me know what city you're smoking in, and we will talk soon. Salute.